Lola, I'm in grade 9.
My name is Anna Rosser. I'm a grade 12 student here at Lisgar. So this year, I was put on the student council as an executive. My title was technically the chair of student wellness. This was like a new role this year, so I really had a lot of free reign as to what direction I wanted to take. And I had a lot of ideas in mind, and surprisingly, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do with the school in the summer, Breakfast Club was not one of them. It wasn't until this year I was walking down the hall and I just kind of heard people talking about how they were hungry and they hadn't eaten breakfast. And that's kind of what gave me the idea that, like, hey, maybe it would be a good idea to bring it up with teachers and maybe the principal, which got a lot of support, to just kind of have a breakfast available for students in the morning who are willing to come in earlier. And it really took off from there. That's really where it started.
It was Anna in the meeting who said, is anyone interested in joining? And I totally agree. I hear so many of my friends and people around the school saying that, oh, I haven't eaten breakfast, and like sleeping in class and asking for food. And there's just such an importance to starting your day off right.
So I wouldn't necessarily say challenges, but in the beginning, we started out by just giving students oatmeal. Mr. Spidell graciously gave Breakfast Club a really nice budget, but still we had to kind of work within that budget, and it was nothing like it is now. So we would give out like cups of oatmeal to students every morning, and although oatmeal is really great, it's not as nutritious as, say, fresh fruits or eggs that we're now giving out, and it wasn't very popular among students. We did have some people coming into the Breakfast Club, which was really good, very telling that this was a club that was worth pursuing and high in demand. So that was definitely a challenge, and we had people wanting to come in but didn't really like what we were serving, and just working within budget and whatnot, it was kind of difficult to be able to keep students coming when they weren't super satisfied with the food we were offering.
Yeah, it's grown an insane amount from the beginning of having like one desk with just oatmeal, and some people, you're right, some people did come in, but after we started getting different food, a lot more people have started to come in. So I usually get here around like 8. We set everything up. It runs, thanks to Annis, it runs so smoothly. Everything's organized and labeled, and everyone knows what to do. We set up all the stations, and then people start coming in, and we make them bagels, give them their stuff to go, their cream cheese, their peanut butter, all of that. And then at about 8:30, we close everything up and go to class.
Yeah, and to kind of like, this kind of goes on with the last question, but kind of like a issue we had before was getting enough volunteers for the mornings, and now we have like too many volunteers.
There's so many volunteers.
Which is really amazing. So one thing that we kind of did to incentivize people to come in the morning is to offer volunteer hours for coming in to volunteer, which has been a huge success. But yeah, Lola's right that we just kind of come in at 8, set the food out, and then it's very kind of chill from there. There are usually 2 people-ish that are behind like a table serving food, following the requirements and everything like that. But other than that, like if we have 5 volunteers, we only really need 2, so other people can clean, organize, things like that.
I think it's like I've met so many people that I wouldn't have met before. There's people from different grades, different volunteers, different students that come in, and just like new smiling face in the hallway.
Yeah, I would say the uptake in people that came, I mean, the amount of people that now don't go to class hungry and can, you know, focus better, like that's really what keeps us going for this project. Yeah. That there's food available for everyone. A lot of people think that, oh, I can only take one thing, or they have to limit the amount of food they can take, which is false. You take as much or as little as you want. Second thing is, you know, no embarrassment coming in, and I think we've been really good about addressing that, and that in the beginning that was kind of a barrier, but that now, you know, no shame, come get breakfast if you need it. And the third one, that it's like a really good thing to continue to pursue, and if someone is looking into doing this in their school, pursue it. It can be difficult, it can be a lot of work, especially if you have a smaller team to start out with, but it's so worth it in the end. A positive story I want to share is this one girl who, at the beginning of the program, I go in like almost every day, and this one girl kept coming in every day, and it was very small, but I heard her talking to her friends saying that breakfast club was like the best time of day for her, and that she like loved the food that we're offering and how it really changed her life. So that was a very positive experience for me.
Amazing.
I think, also for starting, you can start small and really, really grow big. And also a positive story, I remember there was these two people, it was in the beginning, so there wasn't a lot of people, and they didn't know each other, and they had been a few times a week, and eventually they started talking to each other and just kind of became friends through the program and would have breakfast with each other each morning.
Just how great it's been to watch the program go from, you know, a bowl of oatmeal to anything you can possibly want for breakfast available, and how much I hope that this program is able to continue and kind of spread through all the schools around Ottawa.
The program started off as very student initiated, and as Anna was mentioning, she came to the administration and the teachers and found staff volunteers to get it going. And so the impact it has had is that the staff team has grown, the student team has grown, and the staff team has grown. So there's an impact that there are staff who are working together who maybe don't normally work together because they're in different departments, they don't see each other during the day, but they have the commonality of the breakfast program. And as the students were saying, having food available to students who don't have access to food in the morning, either because they don't have time, there's food insecurity, and there are many reasons for students to maybe have some food insecurity. It's been very impactful. So we have the program, which as the students described has grown, and also we have grab and go, so kind of right behind me in our main office area. The students from the breakfast program, they bring up food from the morning, so there's always fresh fruit and there's yogurt and there's some protein for students to just come and pick up during the day as well. So it's not only a breakfast program, but it is a snack program throughout the day, so the students have access to food all day. Running the program requires a large team. So it's not a program that we could run, for example, I'm the program coordinator, and as the students mentioned, we have Miss Anna who organizes everything and she does a lot of the purchasing. But it's not just the two of us. We have staff who are working on communication. We have Mr. Spidell who helps fund it. He's our principal. We have our office staff who does all of the budget and tracking of our accounts. And we have teachers organizing the students and making sure that the volunteer hours are tracked and collected. It's really a team approach, and the students are building teams as well. So they communicate and advertise through, regular posters in the school, but they also have an Instagram account that they use to maintain the breakfast program as well.
So when Lisgar approached us saying that they wanted to have a program, we realized that all of the feeder schools had programs, but when the students got here as part of their K-12 journey, there was no program. So when the school approached, it was like, yeah, we got to address this gap. And the other, when we're assessing when to onboard a school, we also look at what kind of a team are they going to have in place so that it is sustainable. And it was so exciting and so refreshing to see that students were going to be a big part of this. So it's been wonderful to hear from the students how they've been running this program, because I would think if you're a student accessing this program and you arrive in the morning and you see your peers that are preparing your food that morning, you've got to feel comfortable, you've got to be welcomed, and there is nothing like food that is served with love. I mean, you got to love that food, and You could see that they've gone from doing oatmeal to expanding and incorporating so many other wonderful nutritious food in the program. So that's an amazing takeaway for those students, and I would think for the ones that operate this program, what they are learning is amazing.